Welcome to the virtual preview of an engineering program here at Charleston Southern University. I'd like to welcome anyone that might be watching this at a future time. I am Dr. Blauck, the Director of Engineering here at Charleston Southern University. My email address is on the slide, ablauck@csuniv.edu. If you have any questions about the program, engineering in general, or CSU, feel free to get in touch with me. Today I'm going to talk about the engineering program. Actually, I'm going to talk about engineering in general for a little bit, and then talk about the engineering program specifically here at CSU. And if there are any questions as I go through, you can ask in the chat or wait till the end and ask your questions. So let's get started. So what is engineering? Well, engineering is a very complicated, very broad, very exciting field. In general, I would say engineering has to do with math, science, and putting it to use. You could also say technology is the result of engineering. So any sort of technology that you're using, whether it's something simple like a brush, something more complicated like a vacuum cleaner, or something extremely complicated like an aircraft carrier, that all has to do with engineering. I like this definition: profession in which knowledge of mathematical and natural sciences gained by study, experience, and practice. So you have to learn about the sciences and the mathematics. You have to be able to do the math and do the science. It's applied with the judgment to develop ways to use economically the materials and forces of nature for the benefit of mankind. So we're going to make it do something for us. And that's the art of engineering. There are a lot of different branches of engineering. One simple way is as you're taking a science class, if you look at all the main topics in science, you could say those are branches of engineering. So there's Newton's second laws, force, mass, acceleration, those types of things in science, physics, that would be mechanical engineering, chemistry, a science class, chemical engineering. Again, if you look at more mechanical buildings, structures, materials, solids, stress and strain, civil engineering. My background is electrical. So anything that has electricity in it and more, electrical engineering. That also includes, electrical also includes things like communication. So Wi-Fi, internet, cell phone usage, controls, so forth. Geotechnical is more of a material science type thing. Geology. Engineering management is more of a how things are put together, integrating a lot of the other areas of engineering into a complete system. And there's other ones as well. So this gives you an idea of some of the branches of engineering. At CSU, we think the trunk is the most important. So our engineering program at CSU focuses on general engineering first, this idea of a broad understanding of engineering. So you'll take classes related to civil, mechanical, electrical, your freshman, sophomore years. And even in your junior and senior years, you'll still be taking some engineering classes which cross disciplines, because we think that's very important. In terms of specific concentrations, we have electrical and computer concentration right now. Those are ones that you can concentrate on your junior and senior year. And we're going to be adding a mechanical concentration this coming year. So it's not official yet, but it should be official within a few months. And those will be the areas, the branches that you can concentrate on. We've chosen those because those are the most common, the most sought after, the most fundamental fields of engineering that you might encounter in industry. You might be asking yourself, what do engineers do? When I was in college, I often asked myself that because all the problems in the book were already done. The answers were in the back of the book. And so what did you actually do when you got a job? So some of the things you might do research. You might design and develop something new. So in this picture, there's a phone. 20 years ago, there were phones, but they didn't look like that, and you couldn't do what that one does. In fact, that phone is outdated now. There's newer phones than that. So coming up with new ideas, developing new products, ones that don't exist, or modifying them, improving them. Design and development's a big area of engineering. Production, construction, you have to be able to build products. You couldn't afford the cell phones that you have right now if it weren't for production engineers making it possible to mass produce items. Testing operations, making sure products work safely, work properly. A lot of engineering goes into the testing and operation of equipment. Sales and support, if you like people, you want to get around and travel. Sales, support, going out to a customer when something's not working properly, helping to fix their problems. Management, business side of engineering, somebody has to be in charge, managing resources, time, so forth. Management, you can get into that. Consulting, teaching, or some other areas. So you might be asking yourself, what about mechanical engineering or electrical engineering? Where does that fall in? Well, you could do electrical engineering in any of these jobs. You could do research as an electrical engineer. You could do a design development as an electrical engineer, production, construction, testing, operations. So it doesn't really matter what branch of engineering you have or what concentration of engineering your degree is in. You can get involved in any of these areas in terms of occupations and jobs. Same thing with industry. You want to work for the aerospace industry. If you want to work for Boeing, you don't have to have an aerospace degree. They will take electrical degrees, mechanical degrees. You will take any engineering degree and you can work in the aerospace industry. In terms of education, there's lots of different types of education that you can get for engineering. Associates are typically a 2-year degree. Technology, engineering technology, typically a 4-year degree. Those degrees have very little math in it. It's more conceptual, just general concepts, very overview of what things are and how they operate. The Bachelor's of Science in Engineering, which is the degree that we offer, that is the math intensive one. Because it's math intensive, we can go into much deeper analysis, discussion of how things work. We can do more design, details. If you want to become a professional engineer, you ever want to get licensed as an engineer, if you want to go to grad school, if you want to work your way up the chain in a company, management, and so forth, you would want a Bachelor's of Science in Engineering degree. And the other degrees, associates in technology degrees, that will get you in the door into some companies, but you would be limited as far as what you'd be able to do and how far you'd be able to progress. So let's talk about the engineering program here at CSU. We're proud to announce that we have a full 4-year program here at CSU now. The 2020-2021 academic year is our 2nd year of implementation. We started in 2019. So we have sophomores in our program right now. It is a 4-year program, 4 years, assuming you start in calculus, possibly pre-calculus, you can get done in 4 years. We'll see a chart in a few minutes that'll help explain that. We are a Christian environment. This is a Christian institution, and you will get that a lot here at CSU. Academic excellence in the Christian environment, learning, leading, and serving, all from a biblical perspective. We're a liberal arts education school, so you will have to take history, science, public speaking, those types of things, because that's important. Especially as an engineer, you need to be well-rounded as an engineer, because you're going to have to deal with lots of different types of people, sales, support, customers, and liberal arts education, the general engineering education is critical to that. Small campus, small classes, you'll get to know the faculty will get to know you. It's very important, especially in difficult programs. Engineering is challenging. Math, sciences, engineering courses can be challenging. You'll have direct access to the faculty, and office hours are open. You can talk to them anytime you want to. And that's, like I said, really important when you're struggling to be able to talk to the professor directly and get help. Small class size, there'll be plenty of opportunities to ask questions in class, to have discussions. And it just helps the education process. We are a general engineering program, so your degree would be a Bachelor's of Science in Engineering, and then it'll have a concentration. As I mentioned, we have electrical and computer right now, and we'll be adding mechanical shortly. Experiential classes, labs, projects. We've designed the program around the idea of experiential learning. We want you to not just have bookwork knowledge, we want you to get your hands on things, to have a lab, to build projects, to work in groups, to see things in action. So our engineering courses are built around that. And as typical, there'll be 4 credit classes, 3 credits of lecture and a credit of project, labs, hands-on experience. I didn't get an updated picture for today, but we are in the process of building a new science engineering building. And it is much further along than this picture shows. The exterior framework is up. And so the hope is that by next fall of 2021, the engineering labs courses would be in the new building. There's still some uncertainty with that, with COVID, but that is our hope and plan as of right now. So before we get to the questions, let me share another screen. So here we see a flow chart of the engineering program. And let me make sure that I have the right screen showing. All right, I'm still getting used to Zoom. So here we have a flow chart of the courses you would take. So this is the 4-year engineering program. And the tannish color squares are the math courses. The greenish color ones are the general engineering courses that all the engineering students would take. And the blue are the concentration courses. So you can see there's a lot of math and science. There's also science in the tan. There's a lot of math and science the first 2 years that you need to get through, which gives you the building block for the engineering courses and then the concentration courses. You can see it starts with Calc 1 and then Calc 2, Calc 3, and so forth. So that's why it's important. The math that you start in is very important for an engineering program. And that's true whether you're here at CSU or any other engineering school. If you want to get done in 4 years, ideally you should be starting in Calc 1. It is possible to start in pre-calculus and get done in 4 years. You would take pre-calculus the fall semester, Calc 1, and Calc 2 and Calc 3. We can shift these one semester and still sort of get some of the other stuff done. If you start in college algebra, it is going to take you 5 years. There's no way to shorten that time up at all. It'll take you 5 years. but it does give you an opportunity to take a little lighter load. You won't have to take as many credits a semester. If you can handle it, you could also squeeze in a minor, maybe even a second major if you're here for 5 years. So there are some advantages and positives that you can take out of it if you do start in college algebra. So this gives you an idea of the flow of the courses. This is also shows you a semester by semester, freshman year, fall and spring, second year, and so forth. You can see that the concentration courses do not start until your junior year. Again, we want to do a general engineering first. And so maybe you come in here and you're not sure if you want to do electrical or computer or a new mechanical concentration. That's okay. You don't have to decide until the end of your sophomore year. And then that's when you have to decide which concentration you want to do. So you'll have an opportunity to take these lower level engineering classes and science classes and get a feel for what the different fields of engineering are about before you get into your concentration. You can also see that the engineering courses are primarily 4 credits. Some of these have a lab, so it's a 3-credit lecture, 1-credit lab. Some of them are just straight 4-credit courses, like embedded applications. Again, the reason for that is we want to make sure that you have plenty of opportunity to have hands-on experience, experiential learning, working with equipment, doing projects. Speaking of projects, your senior year has a senior project, 2-semester long. In the fall, you do the design. In the spring, you'll do the implementation, the construction of it. And these will be practical, real world type projects. This last handout shows you the requirements. We are a liberal arts institution, so here's a list of the liberal arts classes that you'll need to take. For the most part, it's any of the liberal arts courses are fine. For some of them, such as the social sciences, you do need to take an economics course. For computer science, there is a specific programming course you need to take. Obviously, for math and natural sciences, you're taking a lot of those. And here's a list of the math science courses that you need to take. And then down below here, a list of the engineering courses. And as I mentioned, we have 2 concentrations right now, computer and electrical. This is a list of the concentration courses. And later this fall, we hope to have the mechanical concentration approved. And then there would be a set of 4 mechanical concentrations. So with that, that is a quick overview of engineering a little bit and a little more specifically about our engineering program that we have here at CSU. Again, my name is Dr. Andrew Blauk. I'm the Director of Engineering. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. You can look me up on CSU's webpage, or the beginning of this video is my email address. You can email me and I'd be glad to answer any questions that you have. I appreciate the opportunity for me to share with you, and thank you for your time.